You actually watch WNBA games?
I don't have to. I see the clips.
Okay.
I see the highlights.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, because the WNBA, even with all the hype, I think is still losing something like $50 million a year.
Listen, they just showed where the New York Liberty had their victory parade. You'd have thought that parade was sponsored by COVID. There was no one on the streets. No one.
Sponsored by COVID.
It's terrible, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, you could argue and say it's unfair, they're not getting paid enough, but ultimately, if people aren't watching and people aren't going to the games, you can't just create money out of nowhere.
The product in comparison to the men's product. You know, the NBA just started back up. I think they're probably like 2 games in now for the season. Mm-hmm. And I was watching Inside the NBA on TNT, and they were showing the Mavs versus the Spurs. And I mean, just the coordination between Luka with a no-look, over-the-shoulder back pass to Klay Thompson with a defender in his face, knocking down a 3. The game is night and day. The moves, the ability, it's night and day. The women's product is inferior.
Yeah? Well, Shaq recently did a podcast with Angel Reese, and he suggested that WNBA players wear shorter shorts on the court.
I take it a step further than that. I say thongs, shirtless, and heels. I'll watch.
So basically strip clubs with
Come
a
on,
basketball.
man. Give us a reason. And the feminists aren't sticking with it. So fuck it. If the feminists aren't going to stand behind they shit, well then don't tell me I got no say and what would bring me to the game.
Yeah, I was wondering recently, are there any WNBA players?
Some of them WNBA girls' dicks is bigger than mine.
That's not what I was going to ask. But that's an interesting observation. What I was wondering was, are there any WNBA players with BBLs?
I haven't seen any.
Mm.
I haven't seen any.
Well, there is a girl, though. There is a girl named Jada Thorpe. Boom.
But that don't look like a BBL.
It's not a BBL. She's just thick.
Yeah, the ass matches the thighs.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. But, you know, when you look at her IG, which I did for research purposes, of course, there's a lot of, like, thong pics and her ass cheeks are out and everything else like that. I'm not mad at this. I mean,
You're not supposed to be.
It's interesting how the girls are now embracing, like, the Instagram model thing and so forth.
Well, they also may have to as a means to make more income.
True.
As Angel Reese said that the WNBA salary don't even cover her bills.
Yeah, it's like
she could barely pay her $8,000 rent.
Right, because she gets like $70,000 a year or something like that.
Right. And to all you motherfuckers in the comments that was talking shit when I posted to go, Angel Reese makes more than you. No, she don't.
Well, maybe with all the
what, endorsements?
The endorsements, yeah.
No, she don't.
Doesn't she have like a Reebok deal?
Who the fuck still wears Reebok?
Hold on.
Reebok is right there with British Knights.
Reebok, yeah.
Okay.
Still a major company.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind a Reebok deal.
Huh?
I wouldn't mind a Reebok deal.
Okay, I mean, but you already rich.
Could be richer.
I'm not gonna argue that. You know, I'm just saying, like, look, man, when you really look at it from an athlete, and we're men, we're gladiators. You know, we know when we go see a sport, we want to see it at its highest level. Who's the female version of Shaq? Who's the female version of AI, breaks ankles like that? Who's the female version of Michael Jordan that flies through the sky and is poetry in motion and body control? Who's the female version of Larry Bird or Dominique Wilkins? They just think they and it's okay. It's not chauvinistic. Women, just like we can't do certain things that women do best, women have to accept that they can't do certain things that we do best. That's just biology.
Yeah, I remember when I interviewed Marcellus Wiley recently. Well, not recently, but some months back. And he was a former professional NFL player. And I asked him about whether women in certain sports could potentially play with men. He goes, absolutely not. He goes, for example, the fastest female runner ever, FloJo, is slower than the fastest high school male runner ever.
Right. It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Jesus, why do we have to force everything? We have to be equal. We weren't designed to be equal.